All right, everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive. Today we're tackling something you probably don't think about too often, but use every single day.
I know what you mean.
Yep, we're talking about the amazing world of smell.
Fascinating stuff.
We'll uncover how it actually works, why it's more important than we realize, and what happens when it goes missing.
Buckle up, folks.
Our guide for this journey is a really cool YouTube video by Dr. Binocs. It's called Can't Smell Anything. What if you lost your sense of smell?
Great video.
Seriously. So let's get started.
Okay, let's dive in.
Have you ever just walked past a bakery and been completely engulfed by that incredible yeasty aroma?
The best.
Or maybe caught a whiff of something random that instantly throws you back to childhood?
Happens to me all the time.
It's incredible, right? That's the power of smell.
Absolutely.
But we rarely stop to think about how it actually works.
Sure.
You know, we smell something, our nose sends it to our brain, and we recognize the scent.
Yeah, seems so funny.
But there's so much more to it.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's break it down.
Okay, so basically, everything around us, everything, is constantly releasing these tiny invisible things called odor molecules.
Odor molecules.
Yep, and they're just floating around in the air, waiting to be sniffed up.
Gotcha.
When you breathe in, these molecules travel up your nose, and way, way back there, they hit this special spot called the olfactory epithelium.
Olfactory epithelium, that sounds fancy.
It is. It's covered in millions of these tiny little scent detectors. They're called olfactory receptor cells.
Millions?
Yeah, millions. And each of those cells is like a tiny lock waiting for the right key.
And the keys are the odor molecules.
You got it. When a molecule finds its matching receptor cell, it's like a perfect fit.
Like a puzzle piece.
Exactly. And that triggers a signal that travels along the olfactory nerve all the way to the brain.
Straight to the brain.
Well, first it goes to the olfactory bulb, which is like the brain's sorting office for smells.
Makes sense.
From there, it gets sent to different parts of the brain, including a very important one called the amygdala.
The amygdala, that rings a bell.
It's the part of the brain that deals with our emotions and memories.
So that's why certain smells can trigger such powerful feelings and memories.
Precisely. It's not just about recognizing a scent, it's about connecting it to our past experiences and emotions.
Like, think about the smell of freshly baked cookies.
Oh, yeah.
Instantly takes you back to grandma's kitchen.
Every time.
It's amazing.
And this connection between smell and the amygdala goes way back.
How so?
Well, think about our ancestors.
Okay.
They relied heavily on their sense of smell for survival.
To find food.
Exactly, and also to avoid danger.
It's smelling smoke from a fire.
Exactly. So this strong link between smell, danger, and survival, it's likely why the amygdala plays such a big role in processing all those smell signals.
So smell is way more than just a nice-to-have sense. It's crucial.
Absolutely. It's not just about enjoying pleasant aromas, it's about staying alive.
It's like a built-in warning system. Speaking of which, the video also talks about how essential smell is for our sense of taste.
Yeah, that's a big one.
You know how when you have a bad cold
Oh, yeah.
and your nose is all stuffed up, everything tastes so bland?
Like cardboard?
Exactly. That's because smell plays a huge role in what we perceive as taste.
It adds a whole other dimension to flavor.
So those odor molecules from your food, they don't just stay in your mouth.
Nope.
They travel up the back of your throat to those olfactory receptors,
Exactly.
giving you a much richer taste experience.
It's like the difference between watching a movie in black and white versus full color.
Perfect analogy. And of course, as we mentioned, smell is also vital for detecting danger, like spoiled food, gas leaks, smoke.
All those things we want to avoid.
But what happens when our sense of smell disappears?
That's when things can get tricky.
The video calls this loss of smell anosmia.
Anosmia, yep.
And it can be caused by a lot of things,
A
right?
whole range of things, actually.
Like the common cold
Yeah, that's a common one.
or allergies,
Yep. But it can also be more serious stuff, like head injuries.
or even diseases like Alzheimer's.
It can be a symptom of a lot of different things.
And get this, some people are actually born without a sense of smell.
That's right. It's called congenital anosmia.
Congenital anosmia. Wow,
It's rare, but it affects about 1,000 people in the U.S.
that's wild. Imagine never experiencing the smell of freshly cut grass or like your favorite food.
It's a whole dimension of life that's just missing.
And it's not just about missing out on pleasant smells. It can have a huge impact on your safety.
Absolutely.
If you can't smell smoke, you might not know there's a fire.
Exactly. It's a serious concern.
Or you might eat spoiled food and get sick.
It's a big deal.
The video also mentioned how things like aging
Yeah, that's a fact.
And smoking.
Definitely.
And even certain medications can affect your sense of smell.
A lot of things can play a role.
So it's something to be mindful of at any age, really.
It is.
Now, losing your sense of smell completely, that sounds pretty scary.
It can be.
But thankfully, most cases are temporary, right?
That's right, especially those caused by colds or allergies.
So once you treat the underlying cause, your sense of smell usually comes back.
In most cases, yes.
That's a relief. But what about situations where it's not temporary?
That's when it gets more complicated.
What can people do then?
Well, there's no cure for permanent anosmia, but there are ways to adapt.
Like what?
One thing is smell training.
Smell training.
Yeah, it involves regularly exposing yourself to different scents.
Like sniffing different essential oils or something.
Exactly. It can help stimulate the olfactory system and sometimes even bring back some sense of smell.
Interesting. So there's hope, even in those tough cases.
There is.
And the video also gave some good advice for protecting your sense of smell in the first place.
Like what?
Like avoiding smoking
Big one.
and just maintaining overall good health.
Makes a difference.
Makes sense.
Take care of yourself. Take care of your nose.
Exactly. Now, before we wrap up, the video mentioned something that really blew my mind.
What's that?
It said that a dog's sense of smell is 20 times stronger than ours.
Oh, yeah, their noses are incredible.
It's insane. What do you think the world would be like if we had that kind of olfactory power?
Oh, wow. That's a great question.
Could we even handle that much sensory input?
I don't know. It's hard to even imagine.
Would we be overwhelmed by a constant flood of smells?
Maybe. Or maybe we'd develop entirely new ways of communicating and experiencing the world.
It's a fascinating thought.
It really makes you think about how much our senses shape our reality.
Totally. It's a question we'll leave everyone to ponder.
It's a good one.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time for another fascinating exploration.
See you then.
Bye, Ro.